Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the presenters of this book, Islamic Legal Maxim, Essential and Applications. I know that to review this book is not so easy task. And then I found that your presentation is good, especially the slide that you prepare for the purpose of presentation today. I have the copy of this book in my collections, and then I also what we call impressed with what has been prepared by the author. We have two authors here. What is the first author here of the book? The second one? Okay, this is so this book is not only just to give the theory, at the same time also try to give what we call the applications of the each legal maxims, right? And then this book has been published by IBFIN, not by IIUM Press. And then this is the background. I'm not going to read what has been written in this slide, but in my understanding, to prepare this book, which is very important because for us as the Muslim, in order to understand the status of Islamic law, we have to find out the evidence as much as possible. Normally, we refer to the Al-Quran as the primary source, and next to the Sunnah or the Hadith of the Prophet and the Ijma, and then several opinions of the Muslim scholars. And no doubt, sometimes do not what we call solve our need to understand more and more the evidence behind the status of the product. So in this case, we need also to refer what we call the legal maxim in Arabic known as Al-Qawaid Al-Fiqhiyah. And as you know, Al-Qawaid Al-Fiqhiyah relate as the source of Usul Al-Fiqh. Usul Al-Fiqh being translated by the author here as the legal theory, while Al-Fiqh is considered as practical rulings, Furu' Al-Fiqh. You see, Usul is what we call the opposite of Usul is Al-Furu'. So meaning that the rule of something is considered as Usul, while something which is practical considered as Furu', and this may understand about the way to practice in today's life. But in this book, as we know, only just to give you something that related to the methodology to understand, methodology to derive to Islamic law, to the status of Furu' al-Fiqh or practical rulings, which is for me is very, very important, right? And then if you refer to the slide which has been presented here, very, very comprehensive. Try to classify also many kinds of the legal maxims in according to what has been proposed by the Muslim scholars in the past. So this is maybe if we refer to the problem and the objective here, I'm sure that if we read one by one about the problem behind why this book has been prepared, and for example, the first one, Islamic ruling scattered. So now this is the attempts of the author try to put the legal maxims in one book, easy for you to refer, easy for you to learn, easy for you to understand. And no doubt among the problem why this book has been prepared, maybe few accessible in English resources. Normally, Al-Qawaid Al-Fiqhiyah been written in Arabic, and they also explain in Arabic widely, but little in English. So therefore, we have to give the credit to the authors who are able to prepare the book in English, by which what we call as considered as very, very important source for us for this course, as well as maybe the people who study in the West, as well as in another in any universities which has used English as the medium. And so no doubt the third problem modern issues are often not directly addressed in the classical text. So what we understand here, we have several issues in today's life. We are living in digital and technology. We are living also in electrical equipment technology, including also what we call several kind of device and so on. So several kind of food also. And for this reason, there is the problem to know about the status of the product, especially modern product. And then we try to find out the answer from the Holy Quran directly, from the Sunnah directly, sometimes cannot be found. So for this reason, we may understand the status of the product by referring to the Islamic legal maxim. Number 4, risk of misuse of legal maxim without proper guidance. So for this reason, we found that in this book, try to give you the legal maxim as well as the meaning, as well as the example. Easy for us to understand. And finally, need for a systematic framework to connect theory with the practice. As I mentioned to you, this book has been what we call focus about these kinds of the things. And Alhamdulillah, we found, and through my reading of this book, I found that the writers of this book successfully what we call materialize what has been made by us in order to understand better and better related to what we call Islamic legal maxim. And of course, I think we already know about the meaning of legal maxim, but for the proper understanding, we have to go back to the term in Arabic. Arabic called al-Qa'idah. Qa'idah here is the singular of al-Qawa'id. Al-Qawa'id is the plural, al-Qa'idah is the singular. So, and then we see the al-Qawa'id al-Fiqhiyah. So, in this case, we may refer to the dictionary which has been prepared by Lenz as well as by Hans Wehr. They give also, because they are authorized to give the meaning from Arabic into English, which is good. And in order to know, for example, Al-Qaeda, as defined by the Muslim scholars, for example, Ash-Shatibi, it is a universal principle applicable to all aspects of a particular religion, enabling the recognition of rules regarding its particulars. So we know that Ash-Shatibi, through his book Al-Muwafaqat, he is among the founder of Al-Maqasid Al-Shari'ah, and no doubt he is also interested to study about the legal maxim. Maybe this is one of the definition which has been given by him, can be referred as the very good definition. And this is among the example, the category which has been classified by the authors here. Category number 1 is major or primary maxim or al-qawaid al-asasiyah. The second one, general maxim, al-qawaid al-kulliyah. The third one is doctrinal maxim, al-qawaid al-mazhabiyah. Right? And then the fourth one, disputed maxim, single doctrine. They use English as disputed. So this is from the author. But the most important one, how the author categorize or classify the legal maxims which are available in the classical book and then collect in his book, as we already mentioned the title of the book before. And what do we mean by, why we say that this is a primary maxim? So this is an example of the primary maxims, right? Maybe later on, there is in English, right? Maybe next slide. Next slide, please. This Arabic. This is subsidiary. What is about the primary one? Only in English, right? Or only in English, right? So, for example, before this one. Okay, this is the example of the primary maxim. Matters are determined according to their intention. Certainty not overruled by doubt. Hardship beget facility. Harm must be eliminated. And then harm must be eliminated. I mean, ad-darar yuzal. Custom is authoritative. This is according to the authors here under the category of primary maxim, which is asasiyah and important for us to know about that. So if we go to the next category, this is a subsidiary maxim. This is example here. Al-aslu fi al-mu'amala al-ibaha, al-ibra fi al-maqasid wal-ma'ani la lil-alfaz wal-mabani. And then the third one is ta'azzara al-haqiqah yusar ila al-majaz. The English translation is there. And he put under what we call subsidiary. Not a primary one, but of course, in order to understand something that related to transaction, this is also what we call the reference to refer and then respond to the one who asked the questions. Okay, this is, I think, I found that there are big contributions by the authors with over 95 maxims. They put together in one book and easy for us to use and understand. And through my readings, it's not too difficult to understand what has been written and not too easy also to understand. So therefore, we have to give that an extra effort in order to understand that. But I'm sure for you as a master and PhD student, and then we use this, we may refer to this book easily to understand, but be patient because take time also to read this book. For this reason, I would like to give the credit to the presenters of this book because not so easy to prepare the slide from the very beginning until the end. With the background, with the problem, with the objective, with the result and discussions, with the conclusion and recommendation here. So finally, we recommend this book to be read by a student as well as by the scholars. For me, as the professor in Islamic jurisprudence, I also feel that this book is very suitable for me to read because in other words, not only for the student as well as for the scholars in order to understand better and better about the Islamic legal maxims. So thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum.